Yes, this is Robert Ferguson, and we are coming to you live. We're jumping right into it. I have a guest who is joining me. Her name is Amy Prine. But before I bring Amy on, I just want to encourage you to go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you click, hit that bell, subscribe so that whenever we share information, that you have access to it at your convenience. Now, I changed some things around. I'm feeling a little insecure about my lighting, but we're going to go with it because Amy has really good lighting. So,
Hi,
all
Robert.
right.
Your
Well,
lighting
Amy,
looks great. You look great.
well, thank you. We're just gonna, hey, we're going with it. I'm going with it. Sometimes the show must go on. You know what I mean?
Yep, I
And
sure do.
Now, for those of you who are catching us, I'm going to introduce you to Amy, but I want you to know up front what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about people who eat out of boredom and things that you can do to help that. We're going to talk about how when you're dehydrated, it can cause you to gain some significant body fat. And we're going to talk about this thing called the DETOX drop, what it is and how you can actually get involved, use it, and get some amazing results for yourself. So without further delay, let's first start with who is Amy Prine. Will you please introduce yourself, Amy?
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Prine, as Robert just said. I am a nutrition and fitness coach. I've been with the Diet Free Life for roughly around 15 years and been coaching for 13 years. So I'm just going to say it is one of the best methodology systems that I think is even out there. So,
Well, it's interesting that we're talking right now because we've been getting an influx of new coaches, and so the fact that you just stated that you have been a coach for how long?
13 years.
Okay, 13 years, and as a coach, you are helping people do what?
Change their lifestyle. It is not only about losing weight, it is changing their overall health, enjoying the foods that they want to do, that they love to eat, that they want to eat, but overall, just improving their overall health.
Okay. Now I didn't put any links. My goal was not to promote our
Mhm.
certification for being a coach, but we also just recently did a retreat and you were the host of it.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of coaches came there and you got to bond with some new people and that was great. We need to do
Yes,
that again, right?
yes, for sure.
Okay. So, highlight you've been a coach for 13 years, right?
Yes,
That means you've known me for what, 14 years?
probably 15 years.
So, okay, so
Long
you
time.
now, when you before that, right? You saw me on the infomercial,
Hmm.
right? And
Food
then
lovers.
I did a tour and I met you in Chicago.
Correct.
And you lost weight on my first infomercial product.
I did. I
So tell us,
did.
I mean, how much did you lose on that? Because that's pretty. We've never talked about that publicly.
So I roughly lost between 30 and 35 pounds. And at that time, it was the food lovers.
Hmm.
And there was no coaches, didn't even have access to you. So it was all on our own. Um, so with the booklet, I kept it on my countertop. And it was honestly, Robert, it was my second Bible. I did everything to a T. There was one thing that I messed up on that I definitely make sure that my clients understand now. Um, which was the salads. Um, but yeah, between 30 and 35 pounds. And the best part of it is I've lost the weight and have kept it off by eating food and food that I want. It's not a diet. There was no supplements that I ever had to buy. And that is actually what I was looking for, is something that I did not have to buy. Prepackaged foods, supplements, that's just not me. So this was the lifestyle for me, and I'm finding that I'm getting lots of clients, and they are all really enjoying it. So
Okay. Well, this is interesting. So you meet me by way of TV. You get the program. You lose 30, 35 pounds. I meet you at a seminar. You connect with me. A year or two goes by, and you saw that I had a certification to become a
mhm.
coach. And then you became a coach, and now you're a 13-year veteran.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
I'm stressing that because I was talking to someone who wants to become a coach, and she was talking to someone, and they were like, "Well, how long have they been around? Is this like did this thing just pop up, and
mhm.
you know, who knows if it's going to be around like for a week or a year?" But you've been a coach for 13 years.
Correct.
I have clients right now that I coach that I've been coaching since 1995. Now, there's some
Impressive.
people going, "Well, I didn't know Robert was that old," right? But and we've done 2 evidence-based clinical studies. One with a company that makes close to $200 billion a year, Aetna, and then another one with a very wealthy um, company that's been around for a long time in Pennsylvania. And we're getting ready to do a whole bunch. We are not like something that just came about yesterday.
Exactly.
Okay, so I just wanted to share that because there's some people, and they're out there looking. There's a lot of different things out there, but when it comes to like coaching and being successful, like when I talked to Susie, she had a slow start, but yet now she's thriving with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at you, and you're blossoming with it. And so anyone who's if you are thinking about being a coach, you want to talk to someone, I would say talk to Amy. She can save you a lot of time, give you some great insight, and help put you on the right path. Susie would do the same thing, and other coaches would do the exact same thing. So we have a great family, you guys, and what we're sharing is coming from a place because we're caring.
Right,
So
exactly. I want to add with that too is if the methodology did not work, I would definitely not be with you this long. So that speaks a lot for itself right there.
okay, well, there's a few things that we're going to dive into, right? So I said we're going to talk about boredom.
All
We're going
right.
to talk about dehydration, and we're going to talk about the detox drop because you just completed it. Where do you want to start, Amy?
Let's start with boredom eating.
Oh, boredom eating. How many people eat out of boredom? I would love some people to post. If you're catching us live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, do you ever find yourself eating out of boredom? And when I brought that up to you and I said I wanted to bring it up, what came to mind for you?
Yes, definitely. I think that's a great topic to talk about. I've had clients tell me that they eat out of boredom. So I just think it's a great thing to have conversation about.
Okay. So when your clients bring up the fact that they're eating out of boredom, do you have a go-to for them? Like what do you recommend for them? What do you say?
First of all, it's eating out of emotions. So I recommend that and this is whether it's boredom eating or not, documenting, having a journal and being accountable. I feel that is very, very important. So when you journal and you have someone that you are accountable to, do you really want to write everything down? So for me, that would help me knowing that I got to show you my journal and what I did. So I feel journaling is probably one of the highest things that I recommend.
Okay. Well, journaling, I believe, can help everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I created a little picture here I want to share. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about boredom. So one of the things that I would do if I was coaching you and you found yourself eating out of boredom, Amy, is I would say, all right, well, let's look at the situation. Why were you bored? Were you by yourself? Were you in the car and you were done? You didn't want to listen to music. You didn't have anything going on. Like, you know what I mean? Where does the boredom come from? I know I
Mm-hmm.
have clients who they're widows. They've, they used to have kids in the house. Now they don't. The
Mm-hmm.
husband probably is not there that often and they're bored.
Mm-hmm.
So look at like what is causing you to become bored and then come up with some things that could potentially help you not fall into the pitfall or that or the hole that causes you to be bored,
Sure.
right?
Find some
So
solution.
yeah, a solution maybe is reading a book,
Mm-hmm.
maybe is watching a favorite television program, maybe is going online on YouTube and finding a documentary that gets your interest, finding something that will get you moving, maybe going for a walk.
Going for a walk. Mm-hmm.
Right when you're starting to feel the boredom sitting in, come up with something that will shake up that boredom
Mm-hmm.
and take action on it. And for me, being a single guy, being alone a lot, I have quite a few moments of boredom. And in the daytime, boredom is getting a cup of coffee. That's how I deal with the boredom.
That's not a
Uh,
bad choice.
no, it's not bad
Not
at
at
all.
all.
And
Not at
and
all.
oftentimes it's getting out of the house or leaving the office and going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it really is going to work out. Right when I feel that I'm about to get bored, I'll just go work out.
That's what I do.
And that's a way of working
Mm-hmm.
around boredom and not letting boredom set you up to lose. And the only other tip I would share right now is if you feel that boredom is going to trigger you to eat and eat something that is not supporting you as far as your goals, set yourself up where all the things you have access to eat are things that will nurture your success. So make it convenient to eat the foods that are helping you instead of being set up to where you'll go eat the things that aren't going to help you out of
Sure.
boredom.
And that's what I tell my clients too. If it's going to bother you, if you cannot eat under control, then do not bring it into the house
Mm-hmm.
because you're just setting yourself up. So,
Well, that's a big one. So one of your dear friends, Sandy, you know Sandy Silver.
hi, Sandy.
So she asks the question or makes the statement, I'm always good until the evening. So I'm assuming she's good and she gets bored in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were coaching Sandy, what would you say to her?
Go for a walk. If the weather's nice, get up, get out, get outside, and just stay busy. Stay busy is the underneath line. That's the bottom line, is staying busy, keeping your mind occupied. Get it off food.
Okay, so let's say that you can't go for a walk because it's cold. She lives in Idaho or it's raining.
She's in Wisconsin.
Okay, let's say wherever. I
Wherever
mean, I'm just
she's
saying
at. Just
wherever, Alaska, the North Pole,
exactly. Yep.
wherever. I'm just saying, not everybody can go out for a walk.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
what is your follow up if they can't go out for a walk?
So there's YouTube. You can watch videos on there. Get involved in some type of a craft project. I myself would do YouTube and do a workout video. You know,
Okay.
body weight exercising, just to get up and get moving versus going to the refrigerator, the cupboards. So that's what I would recommend.
See, I like that. I like that. You know, take a shower
Take a
if you
shower.
haven't
There you go.
already.
There you go.
Another thing that I'll do at night, Sandy, is that I'll actually brush my teeth because I'm not going to eat if I brush my teeth. So
I like that.
I'll make myself some chamomile tea before the boredom takes over, because the next thing you know, you're going to eat. And if you didn't set yourself up for success and you have that big old thing of ice cream or those chips that the kids left, or there's a lollipop, or you're a cash, not a like a Grubhub type of person. Which I don't know. Do you guys have Grubhub in Darlington?
No, 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 we do not.
So that's funny when you hear like coaches and everybody talking about DoorDash and Grubhub. You live in such a small town that doesn't even exist.
No.
Okay, that's middle of America right there. That's it. Okay. So my thing would be, so let me see. Someone posts a question or a statement that says, that's why I had to do the detox drop. She said, see, food, diet, and needed to reset since I was off of work and got bored. I've learned so much throughout the 15 years knowing Robert and Diet Free Life. I've kept off 11 pounds consistently. And that's Sherry. All right, Sherry, way to go.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sherry. Yeah, I met Sherry. We all right, that's Siri talking to me. All right, so she set us up perfectly to go into the detox drop.
She did.
Yeah. So what was your experience with the detox drop?
I loved it. I have always liked your detox. I've been doing them again since we started, and wow, has it changed. So kudos to you. It is so much better. There's no powders. It's all in the capsules, the supplements. But the food choices, I mean, not being hungry, being able to eat. I mean, we were limited on what we could eat, but we had definitely choices. Just the first day I was a little hungry, but after that. And so I started with you as the group, and Monday through, what was it, Sunday? And now with today being Wednesday, I have no cravings. I've still been following the menu because I love it. I really enjoy it that much that I'm just continuing on. Today now I did add, I haven't had coffee since, and that's just another story. But today I did have coffee, so just slowly bringing things back in.
Okay,
but,
wait a minute. Because nowhere did I say in the detox to avoid coffee.
No, you didn't. No.
Okay,
no,
so I'm curious why you haven't been having coffee.
It was my own choice, due to the sweetener. I'm struggling with the sweetener. I do not like black coffee. So I was good with the splash of milk and the little bit of salt that you had recommended. And I really like that. But the sweetener, I haven't adjusted to the allulose sweetener. So that was the only thing. But no, you never ever once said no coffee. So
Okay, well let's have a okay. So you know how I do my coffee, and I recommend people give it a shot. Is add a tablespoon of honey to their coffee.
okay,
Have you done that?
I have not. So I will
Okay.
try that now.
So the reason why I'm going to talk about coffee for a second is because in the detox drop, and you can be a consumer if you want, you know, instead of a coach, and ask questions that you think people may want to know, especially people who
Okay.
have done the detox before.
Okay.
But every food that I encourage people to eat during the detox drop has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we're looking at is uric acid. And we know that when a person has elevated levels of uric acid, it stimulates insulin resistance. It stimulates fat storage. It can cause a whole bunch of metabolic challenges, and people aren't even aware of half of it. And some of the ways to bring uric acid levels down is to eat certain foods. Like if you had tart cherries, which is one of our smoothies, that's been demonstrated to bring down uric acid levels like 35%. Another reason why I'm encouraging people to drink coffee, and now if you don't drink coffee, don't, but to drink coffee and to add honey to it, and let me unpack it. Honey is a prebiotic, meaning that it's good for gut health. And so what I like the benefits of honey so much that by adding it to my coffee, it kills two birds with one stone. I get the sweetness that I want in my coffee, and it's a good way for me to constantly get in my honey because I want that as part of my gut health.
Okay.
Number 2, coffee lowers uric acid.
Bingo.
And you want to lower your uric acid.
Yes, I
So
do.
by not drinking coffee, which you like coffee, if you drink it, it would help bring down uric acid levels.
Good to know.
The
Well, I didn't
same
know that because we
the
talked
same
about
as the
that.
cherries. The same as the cherries.
And I've been eating a lot of cherries and that smoothie, that banana cherry smoothie, that is amazing. That is amazing.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, I thought I would bring that up. So do you have any questions for me about the detox drop that could help people realize how it could help them, or be a great tool for them? Any questions coming to mind?
I do. How important is the tea to drink during the detox?
Well, tea, especially like green tea, and some of the teas that we recommend, they have very clear health benefits to them, right? So green tea, we know, same as like coffee, stimulates your metabolism, makes it where you're burning more calories throughout the day. And there's a strong link between consuming your teas and reduced body fat.
Okay.
So tea is your friend, and it's a great way to curb your appetite and put you in a position where you're less likely to want to eat something.
Okay.
But and you know, when you think about like coffee, the same as tea or honey, what do they all have in common? They've been around for thousands of years.
Years. True.
Tea, thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, you go to Egypt when they excavate, right, these tombs, 3,500, 4,000 years old. Inside, they find honey, and the honey is still edible.
Sure.
So if you think God gave us this gift, this sweetness to consume, and it's natural and it never spoils. You can't say that about many things.
No, absolutely not.
So how could honey be bad? It can't. I mean, come on.
It can't be.
All right. So detox drop, you guys, for those who are new to it, look, it's designed to help you drop the cravings you may be having, as Amy mentioned, and as a few people have made comments. So like if right now you're really challenged with cravings, sugar cravings, it's a great way to break that.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been stuck at a certain amount of weight, it's, I mean, a large majority of the people who have done it, it helped them break through and drop additional pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just water, because you're eating an adequate amount of protein, you're eating carbs. You're not really, I mean, you're not hungry. I wasn't hungry.
No. Like I said, just my first day, I was just a little hungry, but after that, no. And I'm just really impressed that, like you said, the cravings, they have disappeared.
Blood pressure, it helps people drop. I mean, it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
And the detox drop, which we're going to have this talk in our coach training on Thursday. We are adding an additional fat burning meal to the methodology.
Okay.
For breakfast. Right? So we have 3 primary fat burning meals.
Right.
You have protein, fast carb, slow carb.
Mm-hmm.
You take out the fast carb, protein, slow carbs.
Mm-hmm.
You have a fusion meal,
Mm-hmm.
chili, lasagna, shepherd's pie, where it's all blended. And then you have the meal that we start off the detox drop with, which then taps into that hormone GLP-1. So you want to talk about that at all?
Interesting.
So
yeah, you
only for breakfast.
Right, only for breakfast.
Yes.
And that you will continue with that. I really enjoyed that, the protein and the fat serving. So majority of my mornings, and I'm continuing it, is the eggs with the avocado, and I really enjoy that. Eggs and cheese. One morning I also had the cottage cheese and avocado. So yeah, I found that very interesting, and I really enjoyed that.
Okay. Should we share like a little bit about that? And then I think that'll take us to dehydration.
Yes.
Okay. So GLP-1 is a hormone that is secreted in our gut, our microbiome, our intestinal tract. And GLP-1, when it goes up, when it's secreted, it does quite a few things that's beneficial. One, your brain has receptors in it for GLP-1. You are not as hungry, so you experience satiety. So you're not even thinking about it. It's like you have no desire to eat. So it helps with your appetite. Number 2, it activates brown fat. And brown fat, when you're a baby, you have a lot of it. It's very active. You burn more calories as a result. Number 3, it slows down gastric emptying, meaning food digests way slower. Everything moves slower. That also helps with you not wanting to eat and not being hungry. Right? This is all when GLP-1 is up. Number 4 is it inhibits a hormone called glucagon. Right? So you have insulin that does its job. It goes out and it helps bring your blood sugar levels down. Mm-hmm. And in your pancreas, you have glucagon, which will bring your glucose levels up. So it inhibits glucagon. So people who have high blood sugar levels, when GLP-1 is up, their blood sugar levels are better. And it's not necessarily because of insulin. It's because glucagon is inhibited. Now I could go on, but these are some all positive things, right?
Right. Exactly.
So the drugs, Wegovy, Ozempic, Trulicity, Mounjaro, and all these other drugs that are coming out, like semaglutide, they are GLP-1 agonists. And a GLP-1 agonist is like a synthetic form of a natural hormone that we have. So you take these pills or these injections, and it causes GLP-1 to go up so you can get those benefits, right?
Right.
But that's not natural.
Right.
What we do with the detox drop is you eat foods in a way that causes the GLP-1 to go up without a drug. Amazing. Without a drug and without the side effects and without the increased risk of thyroid cancer. You're using food to naturally stimulate GLP-1 to go up. Mm-hmm. And it's scientifically proven, going back over 20 years. And inside of the detox drop, I shared those citations.
Yes.
It's amazing. So that first fat burning meal is designed to stimulate GLP-1 up. So I was on a call this morning, and someone who knew about, the detox drop, and he actually did it. He loved it. He says, and he was thinking marketing. He goes, Robert, tell people don't take the shot. Give Diet Free Life a shot.
Love that.
Right? Which actually I'm going to change that. Don't take the shot of Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Trulicity. Give the detox drop a shot. Boom!
Boom. I love that.
So that's it.
I love that.
And we can prove it.
Yes.
Yes, we can prove it. So anyway.
Food can be our medicine, as we always say.
Yes. And we know how to do it. We know how to do it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. If anybody got any questions about that, let us know. And if you want, when you log in and you get the detox drop, I think it's on day 2 where I explain the science of it.
Yes, day 2.
Yeah. So on day 2, I explain and show you the citations. You can go to PubMed, you can look them up, and you can see like exactly what I'm saying. So it's not rocket science. We just have done the work. Now there's one thing there, and then we'll go on to our next topic. In one of those studies that I shared on day 2, I don't know if you caught it, but when they tested like GLP-1, what causes it to go up? When they tested fat, they used safflower oil. Safflower oil is a seed oil.
Mm-hmm.
When they had a person consume that, nothing happened. GLP-1 just took a vacation. Another example of why seed oils are not natural. There's no benefit to seed oils. They cause way more harm than good.
Yep.
So there you go. And the science is there, and I shared a study. All right. So now let's move on. The next thing, you want to talk about dehydration, or you have some questions, or anybody else have questions?
I don't have any questions. I don't know if anybody else does.
Well, someone made this comment. They said heating honey rapidly can lessen the nutrition value. That is true in some cases. Sometimes it can actually give you a lift of access to the health benefits of honey. Do you know how hot it is in your gut with gastric juices when it gets into your stomach? Way hotter than a cup of coffee. And we know that when you consume honey that has to go through that heat to get into your small intestine, that eventually makes its way to your large intestine called your colon, we see the benefits of honey. And increased short chain fatty acids. So putting my honey in coffee ain't changing nothing. If I heat up some carrots, we know that you get more beta carotene, 35% more, because you cooked the food, which goes against the people who say I only eat raw. So honey, you didn't get me on that one. Trust me. I've thought it through. Remember, everything I do is Katie Couric approved, meaning I go on TV, I go on national shows. I'm in front of like a whole bunch of physicians on a regular basis. I get called out because of my approach is out there a little bit, and I get called on it. So I have to be in a position where I have ammunition to combat what they are not aware of and bring clarity to what is really going on. And that's why we are talking to all these big companies. And that's why they see us as a solution for a lot of the challenges that people are experiencing. So anyway, I thought I would go there. Your friend Susie Lopez just said, what's up? Amy, you look amazing.
Thanks, Susie.
Now, you notice Susie didn't say, Robert, wow, you look amazing. I mean, what's up with that? I mean, okay. All right, I know where Susie stands now. I'm good.
I'll tell you, Robert, you look amazing.
Well, thank you, because she just you can't give a comment like that. And if I don't. I know my lighting's off a little bit, but that's okay. It's all good. All
Go
right, let's get.
Susie.
It's all good. I'm not taking it personal. Susie can't break. She can't break my joy. She
Nope.
cannot break my joy. All right. So look, there's my buddy right there, Catherine. Catherine says, "Robert, you look amazing." See, and Catherine is great. I can't wait to interview Catherine because she's got a really amazing voice, and her laugh is
I was gonna
contagious.
say, Kat, I think I heard you talking about her laugh. So
Yeah,
yeah, we got to get together.
she's awesome. Okay, so where do you want to go? Let's go. We got it. We got to wrap it up. We got less than 15 minutes.
All
Come on,
right,
come on.
let's bring on dehydration. Let's bring it.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you interview me then.
All right.
Yeah, and Sandy Silver just said we both look amazing. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah,
Thank you,
Susie.
Sandy.
And I invited Susie to come to my house, and I was going to cook her fish. I'm not doing that anymore. That's off the table. Yeah, that's off the table, Susie. Yeah, I'll meet you at a restaurant.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Okay. So we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of people would really appreciate. So where do you want to start? I'll let you ask me. Ask me the questions as though you and I are doing like a coach training. It's just you and I.
Okay.
And the way you ask questions when you call me is always great. You ask very demanding, clear questions that will give you clarity. And I wouldn't change any of that. So play dumb if you don't mind. I'm like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Just so other people can get it. So let's go ground zero.
Okay. So ground zero. Let's start from the very beginning. Robert, can you explain to me exactly what dehydration is?
Well, the short answer is that dehydration is when you are not drinking enough water, which causes dehydration. So when you don't have an adequate amount of water floating in your body or circulating in your body, it can create some major disruptions in your body. It can compromise your health. It can cause you to retain water. It can put you into a position where you actually start gaining body fat. So the antidote to that is to make sure you're drinking an adequate amount of water. And stats range anywhere from 45% to 97% of adults at any given time are dehydrated.
So how much water do you recommend?
My first recommendation is to drink enough water that your urine is closer to clear. If someone needs a general guideline, I would say drink, let's say eight cups of water in the course of a day. So 8 to 12 cups of water in the course of a day. And when you exercise, you want to drink a cup of water for every 20 minutes of exercise.
Okay.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
And people haven't. And then when you're dehydrated, key thing to know, when you're dehydrated, you have high serum sodium. Right. So if you're not drinking enough water, because we're water and salt, basically. Salt builds up in your blood, right? Because blood is 83% as far as volume made up of water. So when you're not drinking enough water and you're dehydrated, sodium builds up. And when sodium builds up, it stimulates that switch, that biologic switch that can cause your body to start storing fat and to hold water. And then you have this hormone called vasopressin. Vasopressin in your brain, it tells your kidneys to hold the water. And when you eat food, whatever you're eating, it will pull the water from that food, right? So if it's watermelon, okay, there's a lot of water in that. It's going to pull from that. If it's steak, it's going to pull the water from that steak and it's going to hold it. So not being hydrated can create a whole bunch of problems. And it's one of those things that people don't talk about it enough. And it plays a huge role in our ability to not only lose body fat, but to improve and optimize our metabolic health, kidneys, liver, etc.
So I've heard you mention the term metabolic water. Could you explain that?
Look, Amy's trying to get deep. So metabolic water. Okay, so there's a gentleman, Dr. Richard Johnson, a very wise physician who, in the beginning of his career, it was all about kidney health. And then he got into weight loss, and then he got into a whole bunch of things that led him to this place where he started discovering things. And that's where I first learned about metabolic water. So metabolic water, we're going to use a bear as an example, but it does pertain to all of us. A bear goes into hibernation for like 6 to 8 months. Now, before that bear goes into hibernation and sleeps for 6 to 8 months, what does the bear do, Amy?
Eats.
Eats. And it eats a lot. It'll eat 10,000 grapes in one day. It will just constantly, and if it can't find the food in the where it's at, like in the forest or wherever it's living, it will go into town. And you hear stories about bears going into trash cans, and because it starts to forage. So there's something inside of them that just drives them to, like, I gotta get food. They don't know why. It's not like it's a book they read. They know that they're going to go into hibernation and they got to eat. So they need to gain as much weight, and not just weight, but fat as possible. And so they gain all this fat, and then they go in. Imagine they go into the cave and they go to sleep. Now, while that bear is in there sleeping for 6 to 8 months, it's not drinking any water. But what happens is when you metabolize fat, two things come out of that fat: carbon dioxide and water. So the water that comes from the fat as they're metabolizing it for energy is what keeps the bear hydrated. That's metabolic water.
Interesting.
The same with camels, the same with a whole bunch of like animals. They will get fat because winter's coming, right?
Right.
They know that I'm not going to have access to food, etc. So they will eat in a way where they will gain fat. And when they're not doing anything, they're able to like hydrate themselves from the stored fat that they're metabolizing. The same thing happens with the fattest mammal in the world, which is called a whale. A whale does not get water from, like, it doesn't drink sea salt. It eats crustaceans, right? And it'll pull water from that, the same as we can pull it from a steak, pull it from broccoli, pull it from watermelon. But a third of its water is from its own blubber, from its own fat. So as it's burning that fat and it's swimming and doing its thing, it's being hydrated by the fat that is burning up. That's metabolic water.
Okay. Thank you.
That was good. I think we did a good job explaining that.
I think you did a great job on that. Could we talk about fructose a little bit?
Yes. Now, Catherine asked a question. If you know you are dehydrated, is it better to drink water cold or room temperature to help hydrate faster, or does it matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you drink water, the sodium, right, the serum sodium that's floating in your circulation is reduced. You bring it down. And that's what you want to bring down, right? So you want to bring that down. But if you're dehydrated, but you're constantly eating high salt foods, you're compounding.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? Like, you're creating major problems. And the problems we're talking about is this thing called a polyol pathway. And this is when you're dehydrated, answering, Amy's question, when you're dehydrated, inside of your body, you have glucose that's just there in your tissues and just there. It then will convert to sorbitol because you're dehydrated. And then from sorbitol, it'll become fructose. And then fructose is a sugar that you can consume. But now, as I just described, your body can make. So even if you're not eating it, if you're dehydrated, your body will make it. And then fructose can only be metabolized by your liver. Same as alcohol. So alcohol and fructose are metabolized the same,
The
basically.
same way.
So it goes to the liver. Once it gets to the liver can use some of that fructose and store it in this thing called glycogen, which is like sugar. But it can't store a lot of it. So it's a small storage spot. Then whatever's not stored or accumulates as fat gets recirculated back into your bloodstream in the form of triglycerides. So when you go to the doctor, they say, oh yeah, your triglycerides are up. Well, that's because you're eating something or your body's converting where you got a lot of fructose, and that fructose is pushing it back out as a fat in the form of a triglyceride. And then that can be stored in fat. So now you're getting fatter, but then eventually it gets back to your liver and it goes through the same process again. Whatever doesn't get stored as fat or converted to glycogen gets pushed back out, triglycerides, and then it keeps doing that. And if you're constantly eating fructose and you're dehydrated, you are a walking time bomb.
So would that lead to the fatty liver?
Oh, 100%.
Yep. Okay.
So one of the first things they tell someone when they have fatty liver is to cut back both on saturated fat and fructose, right? So if you cut out sugar, then that will help bring down, your fatty liver.
Okay. Interesting. So I want to say with the information, the education that you're giving us with fructose, I feel that has really changed me as far as really more over majorly on watching my sugar intake, realizing how important or what damage fructose actually does. And I am really trying to promote getting that word out there that really watch the sugars that you eat. So thank you.
Fructose, people listen, fructose is a bad ingredient.
It's definitely not our friend.
No. And people are consuming fructose and they don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then some people think they're not consuming fructose and they're consuming a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. I'll go and do like a talk at a country club. And at the country club, oftentimes people have money and people kind of think a certain way. And I'll watch people get tea or coffee. And I remember I was at this place in Orange County, California. And I got my coffee and I asked if they had honey. And so I got some honey and I put it in my coffee. And this lady who was there and many of her friends, and I'm going to say they were affluent. They obviously were living the big life. They had some good money and they were, living it up. And financially, they wouldn't eat anywhere other than Whole Foods. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
So they had this arrogance about them.
Yep.
So this lady goes, oh, I'm surprised you would add honey to your coffee. And I said, well, why not? She goes, well, it's high in sugar. I said, oh, okay. And I said, well, I noticed that you're adding agave to your coffee or your tea. She goes, yeah, because agave is very low on the glycemic index, she said. I said, oh, okay. Now, for those of you where I'm going with this, fructose was promoted big time in a lot of foods because it didn't spike your glucose as much. So the glycemic index was low when you consume fructose. So fructose was like, hey, and it still is. Same as sorbitol. It's low on the glycemic index. So then I was like, let me break it down to you. And I broke it down to her. And the agave she was consuming was made up of about 90% fructose. Honey is maybe 50, 51% fructose and then 49% glucose. And it's natural. Where are you getting your agave at? Agave is highly processed. So she's consuming primarily fructose, which is causing a lot of the problems that she was experiencing.
Nearly 100% fructose.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So did you convince her?
Well, I don't try to convince people. What I did is I informed her, and then hopefully, I mean, she never became a client. I don't know if she took that information and put it to use. But I'm really one of those people, Amy. I'm not trying to convince people. I mean,
Just give them the information and let them make
that's all you can do.
Right. Right.
You know, I learned that lesson from the famous Harriet Tubman. She once said, if I could have convinced more slaves that they were slaves, I could have freed thousands more. That statement says everything. These people were in slavery. She ran the underground. She was big with the Underground Railroad. She shows up to give them freedom, and they didn't want to leave because they couldn't even conceptualize what freedom would be. And so what we teach people with Diet Free Life is freedom. And some people just want to stay they want to stay imprisoned. You know, when you look at Linda, who just hit her 100-pound weight loss, right?
I'm so happy for her.
So Linda has lost 100 pounds eating carbs and just eating regular food. And her boss and all these other people they see her every day. They watch her lose 100 pounds. They're on Ozempic and they're taking weight loss drugs and they ain't getting good results, but yet they have compromised the potential of their health. So even though they see her lose the weight, they see that it was easy for her to lose the weight, they watched it happen, they still are choosing the drug. They still rather be in prison. They still rather be in slavery. They still rather be in a diet mentality than to have freedom.
Exactly.
I mean, and there are people who will catch my lives or catch you and I talking, and they're not going to change. They're just going to either up their meds or just wait until it gets worse. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to and coach where I'm saying, hey, look, you want to keep doing this. You're doing great. Blood sugar levels are under control. Then they don't return my call. They disappear. And next thing you know, I get a call or a text. They're in the hospital. Blood sugar levels almost 500. And now they got all kinds of problems. I see it all the time.
So you're giving the tools, they're just not using them.
People are just, hey,
they're not implementing.
Each his own. I'm not there. You can't save everybody.
Right.
You know, there's people like Sandy knows. Sandy's brought some people to me that I coach, and they will give up on themselves before I will ever. I don't give up. And then they will just find a way to just do until it gets worse. Then they'll go back to the doctor a year later. It'll be a little bit worse. And then it's like, well, we got to put you on this med. Then they scare the shit out of you. I mean, it's like, come on, people.
I agree.
So anyway, so yes, so being dehydrated can cause your body to store fat, even if you're eating low calories. Because salt doesn't have calories.
Right.
But yet salt can cause you to gain weight if you have too much of it floating around or circulating in your body. And that's because you're not drinking water.
Yeah, and I was just going to confirm that we need salt, but we just have to watch the amount that we intake.
Well, you don't want it to like take over, right? So the technique that we have with the DETOX DROP, right? So what do we tell people? Wake up in the morning, you have a cup of water.
Right.
Then you eat, then you take your supplements. Then before you eat again, you need to have a cup of water before you eat. And that cup of water helps to dilute the sodium, that's circulating in your body, which keeps that switch from causing your body to convert glucose that's in your body
into fructose,
which then causes all the problems.
Right.
Boom.
Okay.
So we did good. We always talk for a while when we do these talks.
Yes, we do.
All right. So let me see. Someone asked a question. If I can't read your name, that means you're in one of our private groups. They're on Facebook. They said, so if you eat something that has sorbitol as the artificial sweetener, will that be burned into fructose? Sorbitol converts to fructose. So you answered your own question. Yes. Sorbitol makes so glucose is 2 steps to becoming fructose in your body. Sorbitol, fructose, sorbitol, fructose. Whereas glucose, sorbitol, fructose, if you're consuming sorbitol, you're right there.
So sorbitol is right next to fructose.
Well, I mean, you're 1 step from it being, it's going to convert.
It's going to convert. Yep.
What else is it going to do? Sorbitol is not going to go in and it gets to the liver. What do you think it's going to do? Mm-hmm. It's not going to become anything that's helpful. Right? So people walking around chewing gum all day long with sorbitol in it, wondering why the weight's not coming off. It's not their fault. They don't know. Because sorbitol is also low on the glycemic index. The glycemic index fooled a lot of people. I've been saying this for years.
Did me. I was there.
It was helpful because it helped us look at certain things. But the more you're looking at the glycemic index, right, glucose and sugar, you're missing what's really going on. It's almost like politics. Let's get you to look over there so you don't really know what's going on over here. And a lot of supplements have a lot of these things that are not helping people. I mean, Amy, how can we have more focus on health, more Whole Foods type of places, more supplements, more gyms, but yet every year we are metabolically at a higher disadvantage? Something is going on. And when Dr. Sabine did that study on the probiotic and saw what it did to the bifidobacteria, and I get on the phone with new clients all the time. Oh, yeah, I'm taking this probiotic. I go, stop. Unless that company goes and gets with someone like her and does a trial to prove that their supplement is not causing damage to the bifidobacteria in the gut, which is the big family of bacteria that's responsible for the strength of your immune system. So in our detox drop, going back to that for a second, when you take the vitamin D and vitamin C in there, I know that that's a good amount of vitamin C and D, and that vitamin C and D has been proven in clinical studies to increase bifidobacteria, to increase it.
That's awesome.
And I can state a fact on every supplement that we have. That's why they're capsules and that's why they're powder. And even with our probiotic that's in our detox drop, it's contained inside of an acid resistant capsule. All vegetarian based. But acid resistant, why is it acid resistant? Well, it costs more money, but it's acid resistant so it can make it through the small intestine and get to the colon, which is the large intestine, to work its wonders.
Interesting.
So everything is playing a role in helping to drive these results. And so when I was talking to Susie and we had a little interaction, I think chatting, she helped me realize, and I'm working on it and I'm close to it, to take the supplement blend that we have for the detox and get it down to where I can do a 30-day supply.
Yes.
So then a person can, and keep it affordable, which is tough because it's high grade supplements, but have a month supply so a person can just have a month supply because they like how they're feeling. And that's just something that they do on a regular basis.
Right. And that's why I contacted you about, reordering the supplements because I really liked them too. And I've had a couple people actually ask me about them too. So I think that would be a great idea.
Well, you can reorder, but it's only 7 days at a time.
7 day, right.
But eventually I am going to figure out how I can do a 100-day supply.
That would be
Or not
wonderful.
100 day, a
30 day.
30-day supply.
30 day. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. All right. Any other questions while you got me on here, Amy, while we're talking?
No, this was really good. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully people are getting a lot out of it. So,
Okay. Well, someone's asked, is plain water okay, or does it need to be lemon water to reduce? Okay. That's a great question.
but that is a good question.
Okay. So in the detox drop, we had a edit. So if you re-download the booklet, you'll see that you only need to add lemon to the water in the morning. When you drink your water before your lunch and dinner, you don't have to add lemon. Okay?
But it's okay if you do.
It's okay if you do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the benefit of the lemon, there's a whole bunch of them. But one of the things that we're doing is making sure you have vitamin C in your body. Because with vitamin C, one, it helps excrete uric acid. And two, when you have a good amount of vitamin C in your body, it helps prevent fat storage. And also with your skin and all the other benefits that it helps. But it helps, and you can go Google this. You can go, does vitamin C help with fat storage or with weight loss? Like there's real clinical like studies. Randomized control that demonstrate the benefits of vitamin C, not just on your skin, but on fat oxidation, your ability to burn fat.
Interesting.
So every supplement in the kit
has a purpose.
All the foods that we recommend people eat all have a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love the detox. I'm excited to do it again. Years ago, when I first started your program, the detox, remember that one, Robert? The powders, and it has really definitely improved. And that back in the day, those were the detox that I was not looking forward to the next one. But this one, I not dreading it. I'm looking forward to it. So the detox drop is good job on that. You did a great job.
All right, well,
the people that here in Darlington that are doing it have enjoyed it too. So,
well, the people who have done the old detox drop, especially the original detox drop,
yes,
when we had chlorophyll,
yes,
like there's some people who see me talk about the detox drop and they remember that one.
Their mind goes back then,
and so they're like, I don't know if I want to do that again, because they don't realize that things are different. A
lot different
compared to 2009 or 2005 compared to today.
Yep, I'll never forget the first time I did that. That was
and you did the one. Was that the one with chlorophyll?
Yes, that was a challenge to keep that going, but I did it.
And where did you get the chlorophyll at back then?
Wasn't that in the kit?
Well, at one point it was in the kit.
Yeah.
But before that, like when I did it with my infomercial, you got the booklet and you had to go to the grocery store and buy all of your own products.
Okay, that one I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I used to have it and then I realized it was such a interest in it that we decided to manufacture our own products, like our own psyllium, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then, the chlorophyll, it wasn't hitting. So then we got it and we put it into a capsule. Right. So we got rid of the liquid because the liquid was staining things and people were complaining. It was like, so then we removed it from that. And then we got into a powder form as part of the capsules. And then it was 6 day because there was one ingredient in there that all the studies demonstrated that it's best to only take it for 6 days and stop. And then I removed that. And then I experimented with the 12 days. And then we got to the place where I took 3 years off and I was like, you know what? I know what I would like this detox drop to do. I know what I want it to do. So let me just dive in and figure out how I can create this. And that's where it is now.
And it's wonderful.
So
it's the best. So I'm going to say, if anybody is on the fence of doing the detox, whether to do it or not, I highly recommend it.
All right. Well, I think we answered our questions, and thank you guys for being here. I mean, we did a full hour, Amy.
Was it really?
Yeah, I'm right now. It's 59 minutes and 44 seconds.
Well, we might as well wait on 15 seconds then, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm throwing it out there. If anybody has any questions who are catching us live, we did talk about boredom, which is a big deal. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people do fall prey to this. Like when I go to the post office, I see the same people all the time. Older people, like when I say older, more mature than me. And a lot of them are retired, and they go there almost every day because it gives them a chance to interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, you know, I get it.
Yep.
You know,
I get it too.
people want to communicate, and
Mm-hmm.
so when we go live like this, I think it's great. It's like TV that they would be interested in.
Right. Right.
So, any other questions, you guys? We had some good people that showed up. I appreciate it. You got some good people. I think we covered everything. Do you have any questions personally as a coach, Amy?
I do not. I feel like we've covered a lot and a lot of good information you
Okay,
have
but do
given
you have
me.
enough information? And I know you'll get better at it, but you know what I mean? Like when you talk to people who are your clients and you want them to understand what metabolic water is.
Yes.
I think as a coach, it's good to explain metabolic water, like as a lesson, because you can do it in 5-10 minutes. And then you reverse engineer it, right? You unpack it and you explain how being dehydrated can cause you to store fat.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
I do.
And we are designed. But one thing that you mentioned, and we'll end on this because it was a good one, and someone's thinking about this as they hear us talk, that if a person just quits drinking water, right? You kind of mentioned this the other day.
I did.
And they start storing fat. Eventually, if they don't keep drinking water, then they will start to burn their own fat and then hydrate from the inside. Like a bear while it's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Isn't that what you asked me?
Yes. It's exactly what I asked
Because
you.
then that would be a benefit almost. Well, you can only live so long without drinking water, and you're not gonna get as fat as bear. So
Right. Right.
you're not gonna get as fat. And there's a guy who has a record, I think, of not drinking water or eating. I think it's like a little over a year. He was really obese, like 600-700 pounds. Because once you are not eating carbs, right, and getting protein, or just not getting carbs, your body will burn up the carbs you have stored in your body, and then it will shift to primarily burning fat. And not burning fat to hydrate you. Now it could, but burning fat to create ketones in your body that act like carbs, so your brain and everything can function. So it wouldn't be healthy for someone to try to do what a bear does. You're gonna die because you're not gonna be asleep for 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna
Right.
wake up the next day.
Right.
So you have to do
When
it a
you
little.
talked about that, I was really thinking on that, and I'm like, okay, so why can't you explained it very well. So you answered my question. So why can't humans, if we just stopped drinking water, eating just like the bears do? So yeah, you explained it very well. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll gain fat, and then everything else will start shutting down because we're awake. Now, if you could go to sleep for 6 months,
That'd be another story.
then you could do exactly what the bear does.
Sure.
You can go gain 300 pounds and just go to sleep for 6 months and wake up lean. But that's not what happens.
That's
Now,
not gonna happen.
if you look at people who are in the hospital, right, and they find themselves in a coma, that would happen.
That would happen, sure.
But they have to be hydrated or they're going to die. So they bring in the saline and the glucose, and they feed them through.
Yep, IVs.
Yeah.
Yep.
To keep them alive.
Yep.
So we are different than animals.
Yes.
In that way. So
yes. So
all right. Well, mission accomplished.
Yes, thank you very much.
So I believe that if you went to the website or my personal page, Amy, and you could forward this copy to people on your personal page
Okay,
if you want others to hear our interview.
okay.
All right.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. And when am I going to see your group?
Monday night.
So
if that
next
works for
Monday.
you. Yes,
So next Monday would be good because
Yes.
Sunday is Father's Day
yes,
and it's also my birthday.
yes, that's right.
And you know what I'm going to do on
Two
my
and one.
birthday?
What?
Huh?
2 and 1.
Yep. Well, this is what I told my kids this week. There's 2 things that I want. I want New York style pizza, 1 or 2 slices, and I'm good. That's what I want. So that's gonna probably be lunch, either Saturday, could be Saturday lunch or dinner, and then actually no, it'll be. Here's the go. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. We're gonna have oysters for lunch on Saturday because it's better to celebrate everything on Saturday than Sunday. And then dinner, we're gonna watch a movie and get New York style pizza.
That sounds like a good weekend.
Now, oysters are a fat burning meal by itself. What am I gonna do before I eat the pizza to make sure that I don't start storing body fat?
You are going to drink water.
That's it. I'm gonna drink water all day, and when we get to the restaurant and the pizza's being like cooked, I'm gonna drink water,
Drink more water.
not beer, not
Not beer.
alcohol, because
Water.
alcohol will turn that switch on.
Water.
I'm gonna drink water because I know I'm eating pizza.
And then maybe a beer.
And then later, if I want to have some alcohol,
Then
great.
you have it. Yeah.
But I'll have water before I drink the alcohol.
Yep. Water.
And then I'll wake up because it's Father's Day and my birthday. One of my gifts, don't bother me. Let me get my workout in. And then we're good.
Then it's a good day. Off to a good start.
That's what I'm doing. Oysters and pizza.
Well, you enjoy your day.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. To the next one, you guys. Peace.
See ya.